people that don't understand you at your job, or in a community in which you're totally different from the rest. Like, this is something to all the black sheep out there. I just want to let you know that it doesn't matter anymore. You are where you are, and as things compress financially, as things compress across the world, you're just not going to be able to have that much of a large travel radius from where you are. And so it's important that you start to befriend, or at least be able to engage in your community in a positive way from a grounded energy state, meaning not pissed off that, oh, no one understands, but more so from a standpoint of, hey, okay, we're all in this together. Some people have no idea. Some people believe in this narrative. They still watch the, legacy media, whatever, bro. Like, are you tapped in or what? You know what I mean? Like, are you know what's good with the Matrix or not? Because like, we're here to talk to people who are, and if you aren't, well, then welcome. And I hope you can start to learn a little bit more as we go through this, because all the old paradigms, the old things that we existed in, are just kind of eroding before our very eyes. And oil is one piece to this. And that comes into the other piece, which is, yo, people are really tripping. And because of how much stuff's going on, that means that people are, really numb to, I mean, there's, there are large amounts of people being, there's genocide happening all across the world. There's people who are experiencing potentially starvation. There's people who are experiencing significant energy shortages. There's stuff around the world where it's about to get really, really fucking crazy. And if you're someone who's tapped into the collective energy of the now, you can feel that it's like, whoa, people are really on edge, and there's mass suffering, mass trauma going on. And it's important that we realize that a lot of people weren't built to handle that, and so they're spiritually numb to a lot of that, or they never really thought about it beyond a lens of, just read the Bible, or they never thought about it beyond a lens of, do I feel happy, do I like what I do. They haven't really done deep inner work, and they haven't looked inside themselves, they haven't looked at future trends, they haven't identified that, like, wait a minute, I was just born on this like planet, just like floating in the middle of space, and I'm just cool with every structure that has existed just only in the past 100 years is the right thing. People are still trying to make sense of all this, and so you're turning the internal of people into something that is apathetic, numbed, or erratic and chaotic. And that's where we start seeing people glitch out. That's where you see people start going into their matrix agentic programming. That's where you start seeing boomers flip out or people go crazy. And it's not to hate, but it's to say, like, listen, bro, if you didn't know something can happen and it happens in front of your eyes, it's like basically if you're seeing aliens, and let's not even talk about Project Bluebeam type stuff. So, like, when that happens, you can't just be, willy-nilly around people in these high states of emotional turmoil. And specifically focusing on the women here is like, I need you guys to realize that there's a lot of men who are scared, a lot of young men who have been trained with an online climate that is so numbing to any type of real humanity and like love and kindness, because everyone's hearts are broken, because we were losing the world that we thought was, we were losing purpose and hope. And so in order to stay existing in that, you become apathetic to some degree. And that combined with intimacy is one where you start to see a lot of really gross things start to happen. And I think that we get a fighting age male now who has an apathetic mindset and thinks about women in a way that a lot of like the red pill influencers like to portray it, that they're going to be tyrannical to those women. And that's going to be something that's going to oppress the feminine, the divine feminine rise that I think is occurring right now and needs to be occurring. So it's important that we're aware of those things, and that we really start to pay attention to the people that we're getting close to, getting close with physically, mentally, because some people's bodies may be in a place, but their mind, body, spirit complex as a whole, is it, or their mind and spirit are in a totally different place. So just be conscientious, because this is kind of that scene in the Matrix where he's like, listen, Neo, everyone around you, some of them, their minds aren't ready to be unplugged, and they will fight hopelessly to defend the very matrix that enslaves them. And this is that moment because even though they may be your friends or family or cool people around you, yes, love them, show compassion, but recognize that there is a level of some people can just short circuit with so much cognitive dissonance that, they could really lash out at the truth tellers around them. So be conscientious. And sometimes if that's a romantic relationship, that's where you need to start being like, yo, okay, hey, maybe I don't want to have all of that fear, anxiety, doubt, and maybe perversion to some degree put inside me, and vice versa. So young men, we need to take accountability and responsibility here as well to be like, yo, I'm not trying to just be with everyone right now and be like mixing up my energies, bro, because this is people are wilding right now, real talk. So